Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Women in Weightlifting podcast. Christy and I are joined today by Kate Wehr, who is a newly minted senior lifter, just having completed the junior ranks and has been competing for a long time. And so, Kate, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, Kate, we'll start where we start with everybody, which is how did you get started in weightlifting? And I know your resume goes back to 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And you're only 21 now. So how did you get started in this?
So when I was in middle school, I was actually on the wrestling team. As a team, we went to Garage Strength just for general strength conditioning training with Dane. And then we had like a 6-month membership. We could go like 1 to 2 times a week. Dane pretty much was like, you can come as much as you want, and you're going to be a weightlifter now. So, you know, then
awesome.
after the 6 months was up, he basically was like, I really want you to stay and be a weightlifter. And then, you know, from there, I pretty much quit everything I was doing and all the sports I was doing and just focused on weightlifting. And, you know, 7 years later, here I am.
So we find that a lot of the athletes, Christy included, played, you know, college athletics and then kind of came back into weightlifting, but you've been a weightlifter just the entire time.
Yep.
So did you continue wrestling in high school or anything, or just seriously just weightlifting?
Yep, just weightlifting. I think you know, when I was in middle school, I did a lot. I did, you know, wrestling, volleyball, dance, baton twirling, softball, and then, you know, once I kind of transitioned into weightlifting, one by one, I just dropped everything else. I think my junior year was the first year that I wasn't doing anything else except weightlifting. So that's kind of when I started to really take off.
So tell me a little bit about your kind of your weightlifting resume. I mean, I know you were on the junior world team,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, how's this progressed?
In 2015 was my first youth nationals. I got third in, 63. And then after that, I went out to the Olympic Training Center for a camp. In 2017, I was on the Youth Pan Am team. We went to Colombia. I got third there. After that, I think 2018, I was an alternate on the Junior Pan Am team. 2019, that was when I went to Worlds in Fiji. And then last year, I was named to the Junior World team, got canceled. I was ranked 4th on the Pan Am team, but there were 2 59s above me. So I was an alternate there, but that also got canceled. So yeah, that's kind of my international experience.
Have you always been, so you said you did 63. So when did you cut to 59? Like, are you cutting?
So my weight journey has been crazy. I started out kind of like 58, 63. I actually did 63 that first youth nationals because the 58s were just stacked, and you know, I was able to medal at 63. So we did that. And then after that, I dropped down to 58. And after the weight classes changed, I did a year as a 55. It was horrible. And now I'm 59. So
yeah,
that's kind of, I'm like this all the time.
How tall are you?
I'm 5 foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I say this to everybody, but it always throws me off because you guys are up on a platform.
Yeah.
So I sit much lower, and so y'all look, you know, 6 feet tall to me.
Right.
I mean, what do you walk around at?
Usually around 61.
So that's not a god awful cut for you to get down to 59 then. How did you ever cut to 55?
I was walking around at like 57 at the time. So I was like right in between the 2 weight classes. So I thought, you know, I'll give it a try. And I don't know how I ever did it, but I did it 3 times. So.
Yeah, wow. So I know you've been, like, in terms of competition, you didn't compete much in 2020. So what have you been doing for the last year?
So last year in March, right when COVID hit, I actually took a little bit of time off because I was having back issues, which I've pretty much had since I was 15, but they were just getting really bad. I took about a month off, and then I came back. We did the Junior Pan Am trials in June. Um, that went really well. I think I hit like 85 and 103 or something like that. And then I did the American Open in December. I hit 83, 107. So really just training through it, and haven't been doing, any local competitions or anything, but I'm excited to be back on the platform soon.
Well, yeah, it'll be really. I mean, I think everybody is genuinely excited to go to Detroit. Never
Yeah.
thought
I
it
feel
was
like it's like excited and anxious.
I'm nervous.
I'm the only anxious one because it's been so long.
Yeah, it's been like a year and a half, year and 7 months.
It's been like 18 months since I've been on the platform.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you've been competing from home,
Yeah.
you just have your gym at the house and we turn on your camera. But yeah, to get back on the
Like a real platform,
Mhm.
it's such a different experience, and I love it, but it's also kind of terrifying at the same time. It's been so long.
Yeah.
I am wondering how much rust we're going to see on people.
Yeah.
And not just the athletes. I mean, because the rest of us haven't really been doing this either.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is going to be, there's going to be some glitches, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we did the couple of hybrid events, so that should have been, should be okay. But yeah, from your guys' standpoint, it's like, okay, we got to get everybody back in. We've got this new, the new protocols for spacing and all that's going on at the competition. So it should be interesting to see how it plays out. But it'll be glad. I personally would be glad to have you guys back on the platform. It'll be fantastic. So Kate, tell us about like what does an average day / week look like for you?
So I train 6 days a week. So on a Sunday, we train in the morning, and then the rest of the day is kind of just relaxing. The weekends are pretty relaxing for me. And then Monday through Friday, we train in the evenings. But during the day, like I said, I'm studying for my licenses to become a financial planner. And, once I get all those done, I'll be working and, working with clients and everything. But also on the weekends, I am a wedding planner. I do a lot of weddings and things like that. So I kind of do a lot.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I mean, we mentioned, we were talking before the recording started that you just graduated from college at having just turned 21, and you're studying for your CFP, or your all your financial planning licenses, right?
Right. Yep. I got my insurance license over winter break of this past year, and then now I'm doing SIE Series 7, Series 66, and then, hopefully in the future I'll be getting my CFP designation.
Yeah, classic underachiever. I mean,
Yeah.
That's
that's
cool.
great though. Where'd you go to school?
Kutztown University. It's a state school in Pennsylvania.
Okay, yeah, I guess I didn't even know. So you're in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's your coach?
Dane Miller.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys train at night?
We train around like 4:35.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I would say that's, late, generally speaking. Late.
Yeah, that's kind of when we've always done it. Other than Sundays, we train at 10. So
So what is it?
What's your rest?
Go ahead, Christy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when's your rest day?
Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So you go out and plan weddings on your day off?
Yep. Friday, Saturdays, Sundays. I do weddings.
Well, no, are you married? Are you?
No, I'm not married.
I see on Instagram you have a boyfriend, but that's
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, we actually met at the gym.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he moved up here to train
That's
discus with Dane. And, right
Yeah.
after we moved here, we kind of started talking, and then now we've been dating for almost 2 years.
I mean, he looks huge next to you.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I can't tell whether he's actually that tall or not.
Yeah, he's like 6'3", 250.
Yeah, he's a big.
Whoa! Wow.
Yeah.
Now, who does he
He's
throw?
like twice of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he throwing in college, or is he already out of college too?
Yeah, he's after college. He's actually going to the Olympic trials next week. So.
Oh wow! Best of luck.
Yeah, he's also pretty good at discus. So.
Yeah, I know nothing about
Wow.
what a good distance would even be. So I won't.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, where do you see yourself long term? I mean, are you going to stay with lifting after you go, into the professional side of the world, or what's your plan?
I plan to stick with it. Probably the first sign will be when I have kids. I'll probably take a break. But yeah, that won't be for quite a few years. So I do definitely plan to stick with it.
I've talked to a number of people, and of course, when you finish college and you've got that trying to transition into professional life, it is difficult. It seems to be a difficult transition, but I mean, certainly with your work capacity, I would assume that you'd be able to pull it off quite well.
Yeah, and it'll definitely be like a flexible job, which will be nice for training and competing. So that's something that I was looking for.
Yeah, you mentioned you'd be able to work from home a lot and train or work outside of a fixed kind of 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty virtual, isn't it? I mean, even before COVID, I would say financial planning has been something that's been online.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, and COVID
cool.
has just made it, 10 times more easy to do it
more.
Online. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
that's right.
The people I work with, one of them actually, like, they haven't set foot in their office in 16 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're just like, so she sold her house in Phoenix, moved up to Flagstaff, and was just like, why be in Phoenix if I don't need to be here? So anyway, it was
right.
been an interesting. I mean, it's an interesting industry to get into.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of ability to do well.
Mm-hmm.
So you train 6 days a week. What is it? What are your sessions like? Are they, are you doing
singles, doubles?
So usually, leading up to the competition, it's a lot of singles, doubles. Every day it's snatch variation, clean and jerk variation, squat or pull, and then a couple accessory lifts. So it's about hour and a half to 2 hours a day, doing both lifts, squats, pulls, and then I never look forward to after the competitions, because that's when you get triples, sets of 5, 6 squats, the worst program. But
so you're a competition athlete is what you're telling me.
Yep, exactly.
So that's crazy. Your sessions are only like 90 minutes to 2 hours?
Yeah.
That's cool.
How long are yours, Christy?
Well, like the actual lifting, I would say, is about there. When they were with Max, they were super long. They took forever. We did like a ton of volume. Max is very heavy volume. And now I'm with Kara. At first I was like, holy crap, I'm hardly even training. Like, what is this? Because it went down to like 2 hours. With Max, I was like 3 or 4 hours a day.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. Like, I had so much volume. And he told me, like, I train more as a senior athlete than a master's athlete. And so my body personally likes the volume and responds well to it. So I'm interested to see how I respond to less volume with Kara. Because now even I'm only at 4 days a week. With my Max, I was 5, 6 days a week.
So you were at 5 or 6 days a week training 3 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah, it was a lot.
That is a lot.
God, I would break.
Really? I loved it. I don't know. I'm a workhorse.
Just break. I mean, that would I broke it.
Yeah, which is funny because when I was with Juan, Juan was like volume and intensity. I was broken with Juan. Like I trained.
I mean, that's just Bulgarian style. I mean,
Oh, I
Yeah.
was every day beat. Just I was so beat.
yeah, I bet. So, Kate, I don't tend to ask like what you're actually targeting because I don't want you to give away competition secrets. But you're mighty close to the 200 kilo total number.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a goal right now? Is that realistic right now?
What's your current best total?
190. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
nice.
Yeah, it's 190 in competition. But honestly, going into nationals, I haven't told Dane this yet, so I hope he doesn't listen to this before I tell him. But my goal, I don't really have like a set goal. Really, I have nothing to lose, so I'm just gonna, go for it.
Now,
Yeah.
you've had 196 on the bar, so the 110.86, right?
Right. Yep.
And which means that I'm assuming if you put it on, you assumed you could probably do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm always because there's only a handful of 59s that have done a 200 kilo total, and so I'm always looking for who's gonna be there next.
Mm-hmm.
And you're certainly one of the logical choices that to push that number.
Yep.
So, that's why I asked if it was a goal at national, if that was one of your goals at nationals. Couple of things I like to ask. When you're approaching a bar on the platform, how do you get mentally prepared to take a lift? What is your last minute look like when you're getting ready to take the platform for a max level lift?
Honestly, there's not much going on in my head. At competitions, it's like, I don't want to say I go numb, but like I don't hear anything, I don't see anything. I just like go and I don't remember it afterwards.
Right?
Yeah, it's I mean, really, before I walk up to the bar, I'm just like, you gotta do this. Like, don't be a bitch. That's just like all I'm thinking.
That's really interesting. I mean, because we've talked to, like Christy has a routine.
Mm-hmm.
Joel Emery has a routine. So I'm always looking to see what you guys do in terms of getting in the mindset to go lift weights. And yours is just not just walk out and do it.
Yep.
Which that's if, as long as it works for you, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What do you like in the back room? Are you talking to people or are you just sitting there by yourself?
I think that people don't come up to me because I think I have like the face of like, don't approach me or I'll like snap at you. But I'll talk and I'll laugh, and if I'm sharing a platform with someone and we can be friendly. I don't really have a preference.
I'm curious when you started versus where you're at now, have you noticed a shift, whether that be like in mindset or in training or what you need or don't need? Like, what was it like to start so young versus, and not that you're like old now, but you have many more years in the sport than I feel like so many people have.
Mm-hmm. When I was younger, obviously I was still learning. I think Dane was still learning a little bit. So it was kind of like, it was more of a, I don't want to say it's less fun now, but it was like more of a fun experience, just like lifting heavy weights and, pushing those limits. Now it's more of, it's a different environment when I compete where, my coach is just like, what do you need? Like, and then he doesn't really say anything because he knows like, I know what I'm doing, and we both can like read each other. So it's just a different experience now.
Yeah. Like I always tell people when I was like, I started at 35, but I was still a beginner. Like I was a beginner at 35, and being a beginner was so fun because there was no expectations. Like I didn't have to perform to a certain level because I had no level. And now it's like, oh, well, this is what you're supposed to do. So it is like,
you're expected to perform at a very, very high level every time you walk on the platform.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Versus when you're a beginner, there's no pressure.
But I mean, Kate, you've been competing at like the highest levels, I mean, for 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I mean, as 18, 19-year-old you, how did you get ready to go to, like, junior Pan Ams? I mean, that seems like that's a big ask for, and I know we do it all the time, but it's still a big ask for an 18-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was pretty easy to transition into that, international competition because, Dane's done it before. I train every day with Haley Reichert, Jake Horst, Anna McElderly. We all are training together every day at such a high level that it's just like second nature.
I guess it's true. Yeah, you're surrounded by people who are
Yeah.
extremely talented.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Like, that's so foreign to me. I train by myself.
Yeah.
Not to fangirl too much, but I love Haley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys train together every day in the evening? Like, does the team have the same training schedule? I guess I should ask that.
Yeah, pretty much every day we train together. Sometimes, we all have, jobs and such. So some days it's off, but pretty much at least 5 days a week we're all training together.
Nice. Do you guys ever have double days? Or is he more of like a single guy?
I don't do double days because I just can't get myself to do that. But Haley and Anna both do doubles.
That's just brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't do doubles anymore, do you? Or do you train that kind
Me?
of? Yeah.
No, I tried doing doubles, but it honestly came down to that I had no time because I only have the time that my kids are in school to train, and to fit in a double day between 9 and 3 was literally impossible. And I couldn't train I can't train in the morning because I'm getting them up and getting them to school. And I can't train in the evening because I'm a mom, and it's like, okay, now they have gymnastics and they have soccer and we have therapies and dinner and bedtime. So no, I can only train like legitimately between 9 and 3.
Interesting. Yeah. Valid point. Kate, I know you just said that you're not not big into, like, I believe you said the word numb was but is there any music that you listen to when you're in the back? Or we're looking at walkout music for our athletes, if I can pull this off. Is there anything you like to listen to?
So music for us is kind of whatever Dane wants. So we can put on stuff, but he'll change it as soon as he walks in the room. But when we had the online competitions, we could put on our own music. I don't listen to it normally, but my mom's a huge fan of like alternative rock. She loves Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace and everyone like that. So that's kind of what gets me pumped up. It's like semi screamo.
All right. Well, I think as long as it's not explicit, I can pull it off.
Yeah. Depends on the song.
Yeah, I was like, any particular song that you can come up with that might be useful?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't have like a huge preference in music.
Okay. Well, then I'll leave it more generic.
I know.
So what about?
I like tune out when I'm walking up. It's like I'm just like you don't hear anything, don't see anybody.
Yep.
And if I do hear it, then I'm like, oh, then I'm not in the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually my big concern with playing anything for you guys is that it's gonna throw you off. We may just not do it. Thoughts?
I think it depends on the athlete. Like for me personally, I do better with silence because I don't have to, that's one less thing I have to factor, but some people, it really gets them going. I like it when I'm warming up. I love music warming up. Once I get to about like 85%, I like zone out.
Yeah, we have a couple athletes like that in the gym that as soon as they start lifting heavy, it's just like, it's got to be quiet. They just don't want to, they don't want to listen to it. So anyway, we're looking at how to make this happen for nationals. We'll have to talk to Pedro and see what we're going to end up doing. What you have to cut to make weight at 59. So once you make weight or after you compete, let's go with after you compete. What is your favorite like food indulgence?
Costco chocolate cake.
Yum.
Specific.
Every time I compete, I usually come home within like the past year. My mom has like a huge Costco chocolate cake. I just love that stuff.
I mean, I can't say I blame you. Like Costco like baked goods are they're pretty epic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually not bad.
I have a question. What do you think? I don't know though. Maybe you already answered this, but my question was, what do you believe essentially like makes you successful in this sport? Like I know that you caught it in your younger years, which is very unique and awesome. And so you were kind of like brought up into this culture or tradition, but at the end of the day, like to me, there's also so much more. But what do you think has helped you be successful as an athlete in this sport?
So honestly, I think like when I was younger, I started with Dane and I'm still with Dane. And I've never like had a thought about changing coaches or anything like that. I think like having a coach that you can trust and that trusts you to put in the work, that's just such an important relationship that I feel like if like one thing just like sets you off, it's just not going to be as like fulfilling for you.
Mm-hmm. What's something specific about that coaching relationship that works with you and your current coach? Or not just one, but like many things. Like what makes it work?
I think like our communication, honestly, he's not the best at like communicating, but just the fact that I think we've been together for so long that, like I said, like we can just read each other and, he knows when I like want to hear him give me cues and he knows when I just like want to like put my head down and do the work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like he knows my mood just based on how I look. So it's easier for me to just like go in, get everything done and like, get the cues when I need it and just do the work when I need to.
Yeah.
And once you've been with a coach that long, if he can't read you like a book by now,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
Dane's a good coach.
Yeah.
That's that. And you've always been with him.
Right.
Yeah, it's so funny that you like wandered into his gym as a wrestler and you're lifting weights now.
Yeah. At the time he had Haley and Jake were there and Haley's older brother Tanner at the time was, on a couple of international teams. And that was pretty much it. I was the fourth one.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So finish this sentence for me. You're a weightlifter when?
Your back hurts 24/7.
Kate, you're 21 years old. Your back.
I know. Your back's gonna hurt.
Yeah. I actually have a herniated disc in my low back, so that's just been something that I've been maintaining for as long as I've been here.
Is that from weightlifting, you think?
I'm not sure because it started hurting in 2015. I actually it was about a month and a half before the American Open. I was doing a clean jerk, and when I went to re-rack, I just collapsed. So that's kind of the first time that I was like, ow, my back hurts.
Yeah.
I went and got an MRI and there was a herniated disc, and ever since then I've just kind of been maintaining.
That's crazy. I've caught many a jerk where it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
and you literally see your life like flash before your eyes. You're like, I've never re-racking a jerk in my life.
After that, Dane never made me do it again.
Yeah, I hate re-rack. It's not our sport. It's not our sport. I don't know why we train it.
My father-in-law, who was an international coach, used to tell us all the time, it's weightlifting, not weight lowering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Don't ever lower it back down.
I love blocks. I use them all the time. And I hate like behind the neck when they do like snatch.
Yeah.
Like balances. And I'm like, I'm going to paralyze myself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean,
I hate them. I hate them.
watched some extremely high level lifters and I'm like, man, that is just an injury waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I know they know what they're doing, but it's still like, just
yeah.
cringe.
I was like re-racking like 110, 115 snatch balances. And now I'm like, I don't do it.
What is the hardest thing for you about weightlifting?
The mental aspect, and there's so many things that go into that. You know, there's obviously like the weight and then the food and
Yep.
just thinking like, oh, what can I do to like be 1% better just all the time. It's definitely more of a mental game, I think, than a physical game. Having the mindset and getting yourself to the gym every day. Yeah, being mentally tough.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what do you do on two things when you're having a bad training session, like in the middle of the session, as well as a bad and post session, like mentally, what do you do?
So my training's kind of different than everyone else at the gym. I definitely listen to my body a lot. Dane doesn't really choose my numbers. If I go in, I'm not feeling good, I'm just going to do like lighter work and just, get the movements in. But then there's like the reverse of that where, I go in, I have my numbers that I want to hit for the day and I'll do it. But definitely just like listening to my body and my mind, just, if I, had bad sleep or stressful whatever, when I was in school, I was taking 6 classes. It was just constantly studying, class, homework, when it's like a stressful day, just listening to myself and not like pushing myself over the edge to where like I don't want to do it anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Kate, as I've listened to you talk, I mean, you're wildly impressive.
Thank you.
And I say that not in facetiously at all. I mean, to finish college in 3 years, to train at the level you're training, to work, I mean, on top of that, and still be like a normal human being.
Are you normal?
Depends on the day.
What's normal?
I mean, it's just spectacular. I mean, this is kind of why, as we were talking about off screen or off podcast, I don't think I've ever gotten a chance to interact with you during a meet. So it's an absolute pleasure to hear a little bit about your story. Christy, I'll let you go ahead and take our final question for Kate.
Yeah. So what would you tell either your younger self or someone new to the sport, not necessarily young in age, but new to the sport? Like, what is something you wish you would have known or some advice you would give a newer lifter?
The biggest thing is to just stick with it. Obviously there's like the transition periods from youth to junior, and then, you're in college or, working and transitioning from college to work life or from high school to work life or whatever. You just got to stick with it if you want to get to that next level. It's tough if, I give props to you because I don't think I would ever be this good if I was training by myself every day. No one watching me, no one holding me accountable. But yeah, also just having someone to hold you accountable because, if you don't, it's kind of like, if I get it done, I get it done. But if I don't, it's no big deal, which, trying to get to the next level, it is a big deal. And you got to, get to the gym and get it done.
Well, Kate, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We will see you in Detroit in 3 weeks.
Yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our interview with Kate Wehr, and we will see you all in Detroit. Thank you.